Hey everyone, today's video is going to be the first in an education series I want to do that go into basic mechanical knowledge of certain procedures or systems of the vehicle. This one's going to be on what is a wheel alignment. It's a very common procedure that needs to be done. A lot of people don't really understand what it is, why you do it, what all those angles mean. So let's get into the basics at least here, give us some basic understanding and knowledge so we can know what the technician or the service writer is talking about when you need to do it, or so you know the signs yourself of when you need an alignment. So let's get started here. What is a wheel alignment? Well, first off, why do you need a wheel alignment? The first thing I want to go into is a very common misunderstanding, and that is that a wheel alignment will not fix a vibration problem. I've literally talked to dozens of people that's why they want a wheel alignment. It will not help a vibration. A vibration is going to be caused by other issues, whether the common ones would be like tire and wheel issues, whether bent wheel, bad tire, out of balance. It could also be something in the drive line, stuff like that. But the bottom line is it's not because of your wheel alignment. You could have a tire that's worn poorly because of bad front end parts or a bad alignment. So you have the vibration from that, but again, that's actually from the tire itself. You would just need an alignment as well as the new tires. So let's get that out of the way. So the reasons why you're going to want a wheel alignment: your steering wheel's off center. So if you find when you're driving down the road and to go straight, your steering wheel is actually off to one side or the other. So that can be fixed with a wheel alignment. That would be why you need an alignment. The vehicle pulls. So a pull would be if you let go of the steering wheel and you're on a flat road and your vehicle wants to pull to one side or the other, as in go there itself, a wheel alignment can help that as well. You have bad tire wear or abnormal tire wear, as in you're wearing the inside or outside edges, or you have what they call cupping wear, which is if you look at the tread on the tire, it's like it goes up and down, high, low spots on it, which can be due to poor alignment or more commonly actually bad front end parts. Say you had an impact, as in you was slippery out, or you just didn't see it or something and you slid into a curb, that can knock a wheel alignment out because of the impact. Say you had some work done, or you yourself did some work on your vehicle, as in you changed some steering or suspension parts, you're always going to want to do an alignment after doing that in order to make sure everything's squared up so you can maximize your tire wear and your drivability. So that's the whole reason for a wheel alignment, is to have good tire wear and make the vehicle drive straight down the road. So the alignment angles, what are they and what do they do? So we're going to go into the basic three. They're the angles that you'll see on your alignment report, what you'll be talked to about by the technician or the service representative, and that is caster, camber, and toe. So caster, I found this handy diagram on the internet, which was a lot better than me trying to do my own art, so I figured I'd use it. So this is using a strut style suspension, which is fine. You can see here the front of the vehicle it points to, which is great. So neutral caster, as in this is straight up and down. So this would be your lower ball joint point and your upper ball joint point, or on a strut style suspension, the strut mount takes the place of the upper ball joint. But if this was an older vehicle or a truck where you had an upper and lower control arm, you would have the ball joint instead of the strut. It's all the same. So they're calling this neutral, as in zero caster, or straight up and down. Positive caster is when that is leaned back. Negative caster is when that's leaned forward. So looking at that diagram, hopefully that makes sense. So caster is a stability angle, as in it will cause pulling if it is out. It does not cause tire wear. So it is not a wear angle, it's a stability angle. The higher the caster, the more stable the vehicle is, as in you get better handling and steering return to center. You see a lot of high caster on, fancy sports cars and things like that. You'll see it up, 9-10 degrees. It's measured in degrees. I guess I should have pointed that out. But you'll see that on high-end stuff. On a normal vehicle, it's going to be anywhere from, say, 2 to 4 degrees. That's pretty common. You will only typically see positive caster these days. On older vehicles, when you had manual steering before power steering, they used negative caster, and that's because it made the vehicle easier to turn. So of course, when you didn't have power steering to help you turn it, that made it easier. But negative caster is not stable. The perfect example of negative caster is the shopping cart. So you go to the store and you get that shopping cart and the wheels are wiggling like crazy. That's because it has negative caster, not very stable, right? So positive caster makes it stable, but it's harder to turn, not an issue when you have power steering. And as a note, the vehicle will pull to the side with the least amount of caster. So if the right side has 4 degrees and the left side has 3 degrees, it will tend to pull to the left. They say it takes about half a degree of caster in order to cause a pull. So that would be the rule of thumb anyways. So next, what is camber? So here, we'll start in the middle again with neutral camber. So if you're looking at your tire, here's your suspension, upper control arm, lower control arm. And the tire is straight up and down. That is going to be 0 degrees of camber. It's also measured in degrees. Negative camber over here is when the tire is leaned into the vehicle. And you can see it rides on the inside edge of that tire, causing inside edge wear. Positive camber leans the other way, of course, leans out, causing outside edge wear on the tire. So camber is also a stability angle, but it's also a wear angle. It will cause tire wear, like I just mentioned, on either edge, and the vehicle will pull to the side with the highest camber. So if one side is 0 and one side is 0.5 degrees, it'll pull to the side with 0.5. With camber, they actually say it's a little more sensitive than caster. It takes about 1/4 of a degree to cause a pull, so 0.25. And you'll have a little bit of a pull from camber, and then of course the higher that numbers get, the worse the pull. So hopefully that makes sense. The last one we're going to talk about is toe. So toe, this is staring down, say from the top of the vehicle. Here's the front tires. Neutral toe is in 0 toe, straight ahead. Toe out is the tires point out. Toe in, tires point in. Makes sense, right? That's why the terms are that way. It can be measured in degrees, it can be measured in fractions of an inch, and it can be measured in just regular inches, as in like 0.101 of an inch. That's actually the way I prefer it because it's the most accurate, and I like that. So anyway, so too much toe out will cause inside edge wear on the tires because it's scrubbing that inside edge. Too much toe in will cause outside edge wear on the tires because those tires are pointed in. So if you do that with your hands, even just point your hands in, you can see that's going to be on the outside edge of the tire. Toe is what you use to correct that steering wheel being off center. So if you can adjust it side to side. Each side, it's not just one number. So if your steering wheel is out, you're able to correct that using toe. That's your big guy for that. It's also the thing that's adjusted last because camber and caster adjustments will impact toe. So you adjust it last. That one, it depends on what your other numbers are, where you're going to want to set it. I can get more into what you want to see out of things in a future video, what kind of numbers you want to expect. In general, if everything, if camber was 0, the tire's straight up and down. If the toe was 0, the tire's straight ahead, so you shouldn't get any tire wear. But that's not exactly how it works. Camber will typically these days be set a little negative. The reason why you do that is for that stability. Negative camber gives you better handling, especially in cornering and things like that. So when you have that negative camber, you want a little bit of toe in or positive toe, because that is what's going to help also enhance your stability, but it'll also help that tire wear. So you don't pick up that tire wear from having that little bit of negative camber. You do the positive toe or the toe in, and that helps even that tire wear out. And that's how you're going to set up most vehicles these days. That's how you're going to see most vehicles. Some trucks still will run a positive camber. And with that, I still tend to leave toe around 0 then in those cases. Toe out seems to be very sensitive these days. You see a lot of inside edge wear. That's like 95% of the alignments I do probably are inside edge wear on the tires. And it's because negative camber and toe out. And so to correct it, if you can bring the camber closer to 0, it's great. If you can't, you at least toe it in, and that corrects a lot of that wear. So anyways, I hope that was informative. I hope it made sense and I didn't go too crazy. If you want to get more in depth in it, I can do a part 2. Let me know. If you have any other questions, then just please ask. That's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. I like the idea of these educational ones, so hopefully it was educational and interesting. and hopefully I wasn't too off the wall with it for you and it all made sense. If it didn't, please let me know and I'll try and correct it. And otherwise, if you got a question, please ask this mechanic. Thank you very much for watching and take care.